Hey guys, it's Sarah with Grassroots Evolution Tarot, and I'm here today to bring you a monthly message for the sign of Capricorn for December 2021. Happy birthday to all of you guys celebrating your birthday this month. I hope it is a wonderful, joyous, and beautiful day full of love and appreciating everything that you are. Big shout out as well to all my subscribers. I love you guys from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for being here. You mean the world to me. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. Thanks for stopping by. If you feel like it resonates and you'd like to see more, please hit subscribe, join the journey with me. I'd love to have you along this ride. So guys, it's a general message. Take what you feel resonates, disregard the rest, and remember that no matter what messages come through today, it's still up to you, your grassroots evolution, your active free will, the choices you make and the steps you take in this world to get whatever fulfillment is you'd like to see. To me, that's personal freedom and it's personal power, and it's something that only you have because it lies at the tips of your fingers and at the soles of your feet. So use that power to do wisely. I'm going to bring in some messages today. First, I have the Shaman's Oracle for a little bit of spiritual advice. I also have the Wildwood Tarot with me and the Wisdom of the Trees Oracle as a little bit of parting wisdom for you guys. So I'm going to get a little bit of spiritual advice here. I'm going to ask Archangel Michael, Archangel Metatron, Archangel Gabriel, my team of light, and any of your spirit guides that would be here for the highest good of the entire collective to join us. I'm going to ask them to guide, guard, bless, and protect myself, this reading, and any of you guys who would ask for it, as well as to use me as the clearest channel possible, delivering messages that are for the most far-reaching for everyone, and again, only the highest good. So I apologize for the glare behind me. Try to move this thing around, but maybe I just need to move and get it out of there, but the sun's coming in back there, so you might get a glare. Again, I apologize. There's a few cards. These two came out, and then while I was shuffling and calling in spirit, the Shaman of the Stars came out. So you have Shaman of Reflections, you have Ancestors of Boundaries, and Shaman of the Stars. What I heard immediately is there could be a really important and very strong healing period this month, or whenever it resonates for you. What I heard is it's the peak of our healing. So there might be something that I heard, again, we're reflecting on. There could have been things from past life even. You may even, I've heard, feel triggered sometimes from past life memories that are coming up into your waking hours is what I heard. For some of you, you are definitely being called by your ancestors. What I heard is to do something big. Others of you as well, there's something for, I heard Taurus, or in the time of Taurus. So I believe that's the end of April, beginning of May. This could be you reflecting on things that have happened. This could have been you reflecting on places that you feel somebody or a group of people, or maybe only even yourself, pushed past some boundaries where I heard it was unwanted or unwelcome. For some of us as well, we're learning how to set these boundaries. We're learning how to set healthy boundaries. And what I also heard is realizing that it's actually really important. Many of us, I heard, or some of us, okay, depending on how you take it, may have felt like imposing boundaries was cruel. May have felt like when we put boundaries up, it is kind of like putting people off, or offstandish is the word I'm hearing for some of you, as well as what I heard is that you may have had other people around you as well as you're putting these boundaries up for your own personal protection. You may have had other people chiming in and reflecting on these boundaries and kind of putting a negative connotation or a negative spin on it. What I want to remind you guys is that you know what's best. If you're putting boundaries up so that you don't have to engage in a situation that is bad for your mental health, if you don't, so that you're not engaging with people, what I heard as well is that constantly put you down. There is a lot here, but I feel like if you do have those people around you and in your midst, when you're putting up those boundaries, what I heard is call to your ancestors as well. Ask them to be present. Ask them to help give you the wisdom and the guidance to enforce these boundaries. It doesn't necessarily mean in a cruel way, but what I'm getting is with this bull or this Taurus, or there's almost this charge, right? Like there is power or light coming out of the mouth. because it's really important too that we need to speak up for ourselves in order for ourselves to be heard. So the reflecting I'm feeling like as well, I'm going to read the message from the book for the stars, but there's a lot coming from our heart. There's a lot of information being processed at this time, and it really, really is important just to take that time and reflect. This could be reflecting on times where someone crossed your boundaries and they didn't care, or when you talk to them about it, they don't see it as a big deal. For some of you guys, and just take it how it resonates, this could be you, right? This could be you realizing times where maybe we've crossed another person's boundaries and we weren't even quite aware of it, and kind of reflecting on how did they react to the situation. Was there something they said to kind of tell us that they didn't like this? Also, what I heard is for some of you it's like a butt out, and this could be you needing to butt out of a loved one's life, or someone in your world could be needing to butt out. So what I was with the butt out part, if any of you guys haven't watched the postcard from Spirit for December 2021, it is trigger warning, but there's definitely a place where I feel like many of us have had our boundaries crossed repeatedly over and over and over again, and it really is time to stand up and to, I heard, like, kick out some cruel energy around us. So check it out if you feel called to, because I feel like in what I just said, with somebody potentially in here kind of nagging at us or getting in on our business, that did come up a lot about control and like releasing issues of control. So that's all I'm going to say about that part. I am going to read to you this message from the Shaman of the Stars. So if I trigger you throughout this, take it how it resonates. Take it how it feels. What was it that triggered you? Do you know consciously what this issue or what this energy is? Is there a way that you can use this empowered vulnerability in a positive way, in a constructive way, so that going forward we can start healing whatever this trigger is? For some of you, definitely it's these maintaining boundaries. So for example, I'm going to use like a narcissistic partner or an abusive partner as an example. Sometimes, especially if we have not had boundaries, right, and we decide that we're going to remove ourselves from the situation or invoke or put boundaries up with this person, they may come back and come back and come back, and this is when we let our guard down. So many times I feel like some of us, I heard no contact would be best if it is a using kind of energy, and a narcissistic kind of energy that makes you question your self-worth and really questions your own judgment. But I feel like with that energy, this is where it's like you got to stay strong, because this person might come back over and over again trying to get to you with a different tactic, trying to say something different, hoping that they will I heard impeach, but if that resonates, that resonates. But I feel like they're hoping that you will give up and you will contact them, that things can go back to the way they were. Things can go back to quote unquote normal for this person. But I feel like as well, you're going to notice the biggest boundary steppers when you start to put those boundaries up, because they've been used to getting away with it. So they're going to push you. If there are people pushing on your boundaries, definitely take that time to reflect on, okay, why am I letting this happen? What is it that's stopping me from standing up to this person or these group of people? And for some of you, it is one person. For some of you, this could be family members. This could be an organization that you're involved with. It's just, again, how it resonates. So let me grab you the message from the Shaman of the Stars. I'm going to hold it out for you, and let's see what it says. I am the Shaman of the Stars. I bring the heavens down to earth. I drink the beauty of the sky, swallow this elixir, and give it back as transformative energy to all. I sing the song of the heavens, and I show how starry wisdom can transform and re-energize you when you have walked the path for a long time and grown tired. I bring a blessing to you, the restoration of strength when it is needed most. So it says, patterns in the heavens have guided us from the most ancient times, and celestial magic is every bit as effective as today, as it was thousands of years ago. In this image, the shaman reaches out to capture the energy of the stars and draw this blessing down to earth, positively transforming those who receive it. Just as the messages of the stars can transform a moment in time, so the Shaman of Stars, wherever he appears in a reading, may enhance the meaning of the other cards, or it is drawn on its own. This card may imply access to the deepest levels of wisdom and understanding. Some key interpretations here are starry wisdom. For many of you, I heard astrology. It may be a very, very important time astrologically. I know we're in eclipse season right now. A lot of things I heard are being brought to pass, or being shown and being brought to light, and there's a lot of healing that can happen. This almost to me feels like that aha moment, that understanding, that epiphany as well, trying to reach down from the heavens to bring in those stars. One star I heard is Sirius as well, so for some of you that may be something to look up. It also talks about recognizing ancestral paths and relationships, transformative energy, changes in direction, reassessment, awareness of higher purpose. So for some of you guys as well, whoever or whatever the boundaries need to be set with, this is stuff where these are star family potentially too. We are all on this earth plane having a earthly human experience as spiritual beings. And the thing is that many of the people that we spend our day-to-day lives with, we've spent lifetimes with, and there are different reasons and different soul contracts that we have with these people, on what lessons we need to learn, what lessons they need to learn, and what wheel of karma is changing and turning at this time. So keep an open mind. I heard be just really, really strong with those reflections, because, you know, again, it comes down to these boundaries. If we're feeling like, you know, it's something that's really difficult, that for us to set boundaries, this is important to call on the heavens, to call on the stars, to know that you are bright, you are beautiful, you are powerful, and you are infinite. And you, your essence, transcends space and time. It's not simply that you exist right now. All versions of you throughout all lifetimes exist, and you can access this. You can harness this. For some of you, what I heard is a past life reading, past life regression, or even just kind of like past life meditation may help you, because there may be something really deeply seated, rooted in you, in your psyche, in your unconscious, in your soul's memory, that's afraid to set boundaries because of consequences that we may have had in the past. So how that resonates for you, take it. The bottom is the hunter of dreams. And this is really important, because this is us actively going out and searching new things to get excited about, to go after our dreams. And for many of you as well, this is to pay attention to your dreams. If you are getting very lucid dreams as well, when you wake up, write them down. And what I heard is, what was the feeling behind them? How did you feel when you woke up? Were you happy? Were you elated? Were you sad? Were you crying? Were you scared? And if you can remember that, what was the context? I think that it's really important, because these sleeping dreams, they're messages from our unconscious or from the spiritual world trying to make it into our waking life, because something's important for us to know. So I'm going to grab you some tarot wisdom from the Wildwood Tarot. I love this deck. It's one of my favorite decks. Message we got out is the Five of Vessels. And in this particular card, this is about ecstasy. This is not about struggle. This is, yes, there's change, but this is not about feeling like we are lacking. And what I love best about this is she's on her own. She's dancing with the Five of Cups. Dancing. Not because she's sad that other people aren't dancing around this with her. She's understanding what I heard is her points of power. And that's going to come from the heart. Much like this Shaman of Reflection, we, I heard, need to be heart-centered. And it's also about, if we've allowed people to step over our walls or come over our boundaries and, I heard, deplete us, now is the time to really positively, energetically, and intentionally set up self-care rituals where we're building our energy and our self-esteem back. So I'm going to get a little bit more, but this is a huge change, and I think it's a really important change, because especially if you've had issues in the past trying to enforce boundaries, it could be like a codependent nature, or just fear that if we impose this boundary, that the people that we love or the people that are around us are going to leave. And I feel like that's something that we really need to remove from our psyche, from our mind, because if we put boundaries up that are for our best mental health and for our highest good, and people around us threaten to leave, bye. They don't deserve a place at your table, my friends. And I am currently sitting at my kitchen table, and I think this is the same thing, that we wouldn't, and if even, and this comes down to Christmas or whatever holiday, if you celebrate the holidays right now or whenever you do, right? Even just having friends and family over, you can enforce boundaries that if there's people in your world that make you feel crappy about yourself, don't invite them to your table. You do not have to spend time with people who make you feel less than and do this on a regular basis. You do not have to spend time with people who consistently go past your boundaries. And I feel like it's important, what I heard is to remember, you don't have to explain your boundaries either. They don't have to make sense to someone else. They just need to make sense to you. So for example, this could be even for some of you needing to say, I'm making a change. In order to love myself a little bit more, I must stay home this Christmas. You have 8 of Bows and Heartfire around here as well. I think this is a real call to find your tribe, to find those voices and to find those people who speak to you, who, for some of you, what I heard is can hear you, right? They know what you need without you voicing it. However, most people are going to need you to tell them. This could also be needing to pull yourself back from certain social settings, again, that deplete you, to something that makes you feel more alive. So this could be, I heard even sides of the family. If this resonates, rather than going to the side of the family that makes you feel really crappy about yourself or makes you feel down or is just constantly negative, you can choose to spend the time with friends or loved ones or the people you call family or the other side of the family. So I also heard it doesn't have to be either or, but this is just really important time. What I heard as well is to bring your light body down. For some of us, I heard like our light body, it's always here. Okay, we always have our light body. However, if we've been depleted of our energy and dimmed of our shine because somebody else's boundaries have been taking it, this is time where we really do want to ask Spirit, ask our light body to come back, help us be whole again, help us fill ourselves up with light. Ask Spirit to, I heard, transmute anything gray or anything negative as well in your energy field, and any attachments that you may have that would put this fire out within you. Important too, because with the 5 of Vessels, she's in the middle. She's standing in the fire. This other one with the 8 of Wands, they're around the fire. There's a song coming to my head right now, and it's going to be in my head the rest of the day, but it's Garth Brooks, Standing Outside the Fire. Life is not tried, it is merely survived when we're standing outside the fire. You need to put yourself in the fire, put yourself immersed in your passions, and choosing to live this life actively. Spirit, can you tell me a little bit more, please, about the 8 of Bows with the 5 of Vessels? Is there any more tarot wisdom you would like me to know? The Ancestor. Choosing your path. Choosing to move through. Choosing to move with those cycles. Choosing to move with the constancy of that drum. Do you hear that drum? For some of you, you may want to take up drumming. If you do already drum, now what I heard is Spirit saying, it's time. There's a real significance here, as well as what I heard is to the winter solstice, which I don't know if it's on the 20th or the 21st this month. Check it out. But with the moon upside down, I also heard cradle your beliefs. Your belief system doesn't have to make sense to anyone else. Your desires don't need to make sense to anyone else. Same thing as your boundaries. They don't have to understand them. They just need to fucking follow them, right? I think it's a really important time, and what I heard is a stepping stone. It's a really important time to change our worlds, to change the way that we view ourselves and our own personal power. You see her with this and this star? I always think about Starhawk, and there's a book called The Fifth Sacred Thing. We have fire, water, air. Fire, water, air. Oh my gosh. Earth. And we have spirit. This is something not to forget, spirit as well, because as well I'm being reminded here with these wispy fire trails that this is spirit. These are these sparks or these embers that rise up and dissipate, but I think that it's really important that where are they going? Into the night sky, into the starry sky. There's a real dichotomy here as well with both of these being at nighttime, fire being what lights the way, and here we have it's daytime. It's that beautiful time of day where this is like almost early afternoon in the winter. Everything is bright, but you have the sun sort of setting and the moon coming up, and this just really is your choice. I feel like it's important too to honor that this is divine feminine. It is time to honor your divine feminine self, your creative self, and your ability to create those rhythms, to move with the rhythm, but to create those rhythms. For some of you, the drummer is such an important archetype, and it is so important for you to feel that drum beat in your soul. So one thing I'm hearing that would be really, really helpful if you've resonated with that would be to look up some shamanic drumming. You may even want to just have like a quick little meditation. You can look up shamanic meditations with the drumming. But there is a real importance of that drum beat getting into your soul. As well as what I heard is if you feel like you need a little extra help, call on your ancestors through that drumming and ask them to help you to set your barriers, to help you. What I heard is light the way, set the trail ablaze, set the light ablaze so that you can see in the dark, so that when you have people to your table, they're the ones that you want to be there. They're not starting fights, they're not starting drama, they're there because they're done with their fighting. They have their bows, right? But that is also because I feel like this is coming back into a celebration. You have cups being raised, glasses being raised, and a lot of joy. Again, it's just, are you going to take this time and experience joy in the next cycle? We're coming into 2022. Triple twos, my friends. It's a pretty important vibration. And I feel like with everything that we've all been through in the past couple of years with COVID and all of, I heard the fear doctrines, all of the uncertainties, the unknowns, this is this time where you're a little more educated, you're a little more aware. I feel like the last 2 years, they're really major learning cycles for all of us, and it is your time to step out. So at the bottom of the deck was the Two of Swords, the Two of Arrows in this one, and it's about justice. It's about communication and money, right? About weighing what you feel is important, much like this ancestor. Are you going to choose to walk through those two trees and to forge a new path? Because behind her, that snow might be deep, right? You may really have to move through some depth. You're going to have to use your leg muscles and lift your knees. And I think that it's just your call on whether or not you choose to do that. So I'm going to grab a last message from the Wisdom of the Trees Oracle. And 2 right away fell out. You get silver birch and you have eucalyptus. For some of you right away, what I heard is this might help with some breathing issues. Others of you, I heard the koala. I'm not sure the totem, any of that stuff, but you may want to check out the koala totem, because eucalyptus being here to me, I think is really important, just because it's poisonous to so many animals, but koalas, that's like their mainstay. So let's find out eucalyptus first. And I opened right up to the page. So I'm going to hold this up to let you look at it. And hopefully not too much glare. It says, I am the ancient tree, but I have survived by adapting to my environment. I can show you how to live wisely and honestly by establishing balance in your life in your attitude to the people around you. The eucalyptus is one of the dominant trees of Australia, where it is believed to have originated over 30 million years ago. It grows so easily in warm and humid conditions that it is often considered invasive. The tree is sacred to many Aboriginals who keep its cultural significance a closely guarded secret. The branches are traditionally used to make a didgeridoo. Eucalyptus has other uses too. The essential oil extracted from its leaves has powerful antibacterial qualities, as it is an excellent inhalant to ease congestion in the sinuses and the chest. So it also says to try to strike the right balance between overt enthusiasm and lack of interest. Throwing yourself headfirst into a new project seems exciting at the time, but could leave you with little room for maneuver later on. So this is, I think, important too, tying into this choice that we have on which steps we're going to make. Want to make sure that you're leaving yourself some wiggle room. So I heard as well as if something you want to do is leaving you financially strapped and tapped, is there a way that you can still go after this a little bit differently? I heard maybe we need to really budget. If we're going to be really, really tight, if we go in this one direction, get a budget in place so that you know first off what I heard is your bills are paid and you can feed yourself. And then moving forward from that, how much wiggle room do you have to play around with? The silver birch is about cleansing. So the eucalyptus is about balance, and this is about cleansing. And I think this is important, balancing out what's going on in your world and cleansing out the space for the things that are not welcome here anymore. So silver birch message says, I am the mother of the forest. My trunk and branches look delicate, but I am strong because I bend with the wind. If you work with me, I will teach you how to cleanse your body and your spirit to find peace and complete health. The birch has many fascinating mythological associations. It's associated with Freya, the lady of the forest, in both Norse and Germanic traditions, and the tree is often called the lady of the forest in Russian folklore. The birch is also connected with the Germanic rune Berkana, which represents motherhood. The tall trunk of the birch plays a central role in Siberian shamanism, with the shaman climbing up to the top of a birch pole with his spirit travels to the tree world. In Russian and Scandinavian saunas, people heat their bodies with birch twigs to beat their bodies with birch twigs to increase their circulation. It says, pay attention to what you are eating and drinking. Do your best to choose food and drink that are nourishing, pure, and suit your metabolism. If possible, begin growing your own fruit, vegetables, and herbs. So for many of you, this may be if you can get like an indoor garden, if you have like an indoor greenhouse, but for some of you this could be what can you grow on your windowsills, or start planting your garden for when it's warm. That's definitely something to keep you excited over the next little while and into the new year. So that's the message I have. What I definitely heard is to be strong, to stay strong, to remember that you are resilient, to find balance, to be nourishing. And I also heard connection. There's an importance as well to this eucalyptus with this tree. And as well for some of you, the didgeridoo. It may be very, very helpful in healing. Music, in terms of just music, because we already have didgeridoo. You have a drum here. And I heard chanting. Like, I heard like, chanting. So for some of you, this is a real call to get your spiritual side in check, to get your priorities straight, and to make a decision on coming into this new year, what gets set forward. What do you want to do? How do you want to activate yourself? How do you want to portray yourself? What's the world look like that you want to live in? How can you make steps to get there? that's the message I have. I hope it resonates. I wish you all the luck in this decision. Mwah. I love you all, and I'll talk to you later. Bye, guys.